G'day, that's Slot Car Guy here, and welcome back to another slot car review. And today it's SRC's turn with the incredible Toyota LMP1 twin pack. I'm really excited to review this for you today because I did not know I was receiving it. It was a special delivery to me. So let's get stuck right into it. But before we do, of course, full unboxing, tear down, and a hot lap around my track. But if you are wanting one of these, they are currently sold out, but they will be re-released in May. So please check www.src.es and you can order directly from them in May. You won't be disappointed. But this car is very special to SRC. If you know the brand, they're used to making historic F1 cars, rally cars, and this was a leap of faith for that company, jumping into the LMP1 realm. And I have reviewed the Chrono version, which I will link that in the video description. But here we are with an incredible twin pack. So let's get stuck into it. But before we do, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please follow me on Instagram and YouTube. But as always, let's have a visual feast of this car on track. So welcome back to another slot car review, and I cannot wait to get stuck into this unboxing. But before we do, as always, let's check the box art because this is a very special box. And there is a driver on the back of this, which I think I share something in common, my eyebrows, and of course it is Fernando Alonso. So let's have a quick look at the box art together. I think they've done an incredible job. This is their second box set. They have done the Porsche 914, but I do love how they go the extra distance to make the box look extra special. And there we are, there is Le Mans. Let's turn this around. And there he is, the eyebrows himself, Fernando Alonso. And like I said, we do share something in common. I do have some cracking eyebrows. And here are the other drivers. Of course, we've got car number 8, driven by Alonso, and car number 7 also in this box. And of course, car number 8 did win that category, and number 7 came in second. So let's get stuck into unboxing. Let's find out what you get when you purchase the twin pack by SRC. So let's dive on into the unboxing and find out what do you get when you purchase the Toyota LMP1 twin pack by SRC. Well, you get 2 of these beautiful boxes, one for each car, but I do love the color choice SRC have made. This company goes to the nth degree to give detail. Now the black and the red logo looks incredible. The red SRC website looks good, but this color combination matches the collector's box, it matches the fire suit of the drivers, and of course, the livery of this absolutely stunning slot car. Take a look at that. But we will go into detail on the car in a tick. I don't want to give away too much. What else do you get? Well, you are buying a collector's edition, and I think every slot car you buy should tell a story, and this does that exactly. Nice little handout document. It dot points some of the key moments during the race, and it has got the drivers on the back and some other color photos. It's a short read, but it's a really good read. And of course, they did not have to add this in, but it adds to the experience of buying this collector's edition. So that's what you get when you purchase the Toyota LMP1 twin pack. So now let's take a close look at one of the liveries of the vehicles, and then of course we'll get stuck into a teardown. So let's take a close look at car number 8, Alonso's car. We'll start on the right-hand side, but please take note, there is a lot of detail and a lot of decals on this car, so I may miss something, but I will try and pick it up all on video. We'll start with the rim design and the execution. The color looks good. The design is very nice, but the rim looks realistic with that blue center nut. We'll move our way down to that nice big aero cutout down the side. Again, this is a slot car. SRC has made this look as realistic as they can. That aero vein runs through to the center of the car. You'll see a nice little support structure holding 2 parts of the car together. That looks really good. Side mirror looks incredible, nice and high with some more aero cutouts. We've got a nice, beautiful big aero cutout on top of the front wheel itself, and then moving down to the front wheel, which is a replica of the rear. So let's move around to the front. I'll try and pick up as much detail as I can. We'll go to the back of the car, and then I'll do a quick fly over the top to try and pick up as much detail on this beast as we can. So let's take a close look at the Toyota LMP1 from the front, and straight away you'll notice two massive front headlights. SRC have replicated that curvature cover perfectly, and it is crystal clear, so you can see the detail of the inserted lights behind. Unfortunately, we do not have any active lights, but it looks very, very realistic. Underneath both sets of those lights, we have two red aero fins, and underneath those aero fins, we have a carbon replicated front splitter. The carbon finish looks really, really good, and that's followed up around the outside of the lights. In the center, we have the Toyota logo with a red tow hook and some aero cutouts running straight underneath the car itself. Front on, this thing looks very aggressive. It looks good, and I think SRC have done a very good job making it look as realistic as they can. So let's go around to the rear. We'll have a look at some finer points. I'll go across the top, and then I'll see if I can get some inside shots of Alonso behind the wheel. So let's take a close look at the Toyota LMP1 from the rear, and SRC really have gone to town on detail on the rear of this car. Let's start in the center with the carbon fiber style rear diffuser with the red tow hook dead center. Looks really good, and behind that is a nice mesh finish. We've got the GR Toyota Gazoo logos down on the bottom left and right hand corner. Up onto the rear spoiler, we have Michelin decals with the carbon fiber style finish. Looks really good, but also there's a lot of aero cutouts here. Now they may or may not help the car perform, but I'm just glad they added that extra realism to it. So now let's have a closer look at the top of the car, and I'll try and get some shots of the interior. So let's take a close look at the Toyota LMP1 from above, and this is where you really appreciate some of the aerodynamic cues that SRC have implemented on this slot car. We'll start at the front with the cutouts above the front tyres. Looks really cool, and of course that is on the real vehicle. I like that aero, let's call it channel, that starts on the front bonnet and works its way down to the center of the car and then flicks out the side. Really nice touch and well executed with a nice little support arm across the two parts of that vehicle. And of course the black livery design at the rear where the aero would just follow under the rear wing. And of course in between the rear wing they've also made some gaps, so that's a working rear spoiler. Now on top of the car, on top of the cockpit, you do have some chrome work which looks really, really nice, and that air scoop on top of the vehicle also has a hole in it, so it's not a solid flat piece. Really nice design cues there by SRC. So let's tear down the vehicle, we'll have a look at the chassis, then let's take Alonso's car for a spin around my track. So I've completed the teardown, 2 screws only, very, very simple car to pull apart for maintenance purposes. But let's start from the front of the chassis and work our way backwards. But before we do, look at that carbon fiber style front splitter. Really, really cool. So there we have our guide situated at the front, negative and positive runs across the top of the adjustable front axle, moving down to our motor pod with a SRC P1 21,000 RPM motor fitted in the angle winder position, and we do have a 12-tooth pinion and a 28-tooth gear. The rear axle is also adjustable with aluminium rear hubs, and we do have some adjustment in these springs on the sides, which is done by a screw. You screw up or down, and also across the rear. But let's have a look at the chassis itself. Take a look at some of those aero vane director fins on the chassis, which marry up with these cutouts. So hopefully this does have some really good active aero. So the time has come, let's put this car together and let's see how fast we can go. So here we go, SRC's Toyota LMP1. We need 5 clean laps. Let's see what this thing has got. And we are off, and it's off like a rocket. Nice little kick out into the first S's. Into the final S and last corner. Another nice little kick out. Lap number 2, through the first S, very well done. It's got really, really good straight line speed, and it does hold the corner speed very well, even though the tail is kicking out. Lap number 3, through the first S's. Completing the last corner into lap number 4. It's looking pretty good. Final S's and final corner. Final lap, let's bring it home nice and strong. That's 1 S done, into the final S's. Last corner, and we are done. So the verdict is in. How did SRC's Toyota LMP1 car number 8, driven by Fernando Alonso, perform around my track? Well, as always, I've cleaned the track, I've cleaned the tyres, and this car needs to perform 5 clean laps to register a fastest lap, which was a 10.59, which, if I'm being quite honest, that is a very good lap time for a car that has no magnets and has no weight whatsoever. So this chassis setup, the sky is the limit. You can add weight if you want to, or you can add magnets for extra traction. So I believe it did perform very well on my track. Now I'm going to do 2 recommendations here. Do I recommend SRC as a company? Definitely I do. They do very good stuff in Spain. They support a lot of Spanish slot car clubs, which I think is incredible, and they are making very interesting cars. Now keep in mind, this Toyota LMP1 is a massive leap of faith for the company. They're normally doing historic F1 cars, Capris, and rally cars. This is very new for them, and they've done a very bang-up job straight out of the box. So well done to SRC. Now, do I recommend the Toyota LMP1? Now, if you are an amateur, this car I believe will be a handful for you because it has no weight and it has no magnets. And if you add those to it, well, it definitely be a better and much faster car out of the box. But as is, I had a lot of fun. It is challenging, it's tail happy. You could probably scruff the tires up a bit to get a little bit more traction. But of course, adding weight and magnets to the car will definitely be different. The tires, I believe, perform very well for tires straight out of the box. So all in all, it looks good, it goes good, and I'm impressed for their first dab at a LMP1 car or a different car for SRC. So a massive thank you to the team at SRC for sending me this twin pack for review. Now keep in mind, they are sold out, but they will be available in May, and please check www.src.es and order directly from them if your local does not supply or support SRC. But as always, at That Slot Car Guy on Instagram, thank you very much for your support, and support your local. Ciao. G'day, that's Slot Car Guy here, and welcome back to the Slot Car Review. And today it's SRC's turn with the incredible Toyota LMP1 Twin Pack, the 2018 Le Mans winning car, driven by the legend himself, the eyebrows, Fernando Alonso. Fernando.
Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side.